House Republicans yesterday unveiled legislation to sharply try to curb the Obama administration's moves to ease restrictions on travel to Cuba as part of the restarting of relations with Cuba. The provision was put in place by Congressman Mario Diaz-Balart, a Cuban American from Florida. It would block new flights and cruise ship travel to Cuba. He's basically saying we should not be rewarding Cuba with anything, and he's saying that if we expand these flights, we're trying to circumvent the tourism ban, and that it would also violate the spirit and the letter of U.S. law, that we are funding the oppressors of the Cuban people by allowing these flights and cruise ships to head to Cuba. I would ask, does our alliance with Saudi Arabia not directly fund a government that is beheading people? What about that? And what about the fact that that's been going on for decades, but only Cuba seems to be the problem?
Yeah, and how much money from flights and cruise ships would be going to Cuban oppressors compared to how much money we're spending on oil would be going to Saudi oppressors?
And let me take it further. Have the restrictions on travel to Cuba and the Cuban embargo moved the Castro government towards democracy over the last 50 years? How long? This is the epitome of Republican policy. We've been doing something for 50 years and it hasn't worked. And now they want to keep doing it because what? It's going to work any day now?
Yes, it does sound ridiculous. Now, I will add that, unfortunately, as soon as everything is completely opened up, Cuba's culture will probably take a huge hit. And it might even eventually disappear. In some ways, we've been doing them a favor. But overall, what is better for the people of Cuba, I think, is the most important question.
Yeah, and I mean, I understand what you're saying. I would like to go to Cuba before it becomes more Americanized with the chains and the whole thing, right? I get that. But at the same time, many Central American countries have those things and still maintain an identity. It's just that Cuba is so unique that I would be interested in seeing it before that happens.
I would love to do that. It is in the top 5, I think, of my list right now.